Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard at least a little about Taylor Swift. But what do you know about her beloved brother? A few years ago, fans got a rare glimpse into the dynamic between Austin Swift and his famous sister when a video emerged online of the pair taking part in a competitive Easter egg hunt.
Oh my God, it never ends. The struggle is real.
Much has been made about how Taylor grew up on a farm in Reading, Pennsylvania, and her brother was born there as well. Austin was born on March 11, 1992, 3 years after his sister. In those early years, their father, Scott Swift, worked as a stockbroker, while their mother, Andrea, worked in marketing. The whole family made a huge sacrifice when they moved to Nashville so that Taylor could pursue her music career. At the time, Austin wasn't yet a teenager. He was already regularly driving to Nashville with his mom and sister by then, waiting in the car so that a preteen Taylor could hand out demos. Rather than harbor resentment over having to leave their 15-acre farm, Austin has expressed only positive feelings about the move to Tennessee. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Austin said, "She found singing, and I knew from very early on that that was her direction. She was never going to quit. That was her thing. That was her life." Austin is incredibly close with his sister and has been known to accompany her to events, to promote her music on his socials, and to wax poetic about their sibling relationship. He even contributes ideas to her work, much like their parents do. Over the years, Austin has frequently taken to social media to post loving tributes to his sister, who he lovingly refers to as Teffy. For example, Austin posted about his respect and admiration for his big sis when she decided to speak up about politics for the first time. He also loves a birthday tribute. In 2018, he wrote on Instagram, "I have always had a best friend, a role model, and a caring, tireless, dedicated champion in my corner. The gift of getting to witness you become the wonderful person you are today has been the greatest privilege and honor of my life." Austin spent his high school years in the Nashville suburb of Hendersonville, where he attended Pope John Paul II High School. Today, this Catholic prep school is famous for being the setting of the music video for You Belong With Me. In a 2009 Rolling Stone article on Taylor, the then 16-year-old Austin was described as a lacrosse player and academic overachiever who had moved into a garage-level bedroom in the home he shared with his parents and sister. But when Austin himself had discussed his high school years, things have seemed much less rosy. He told Vanity Fair that he was self-conscious of his weight, for example, and he also recalled not having many friends back then. It was due to this loneliness that Austin turned to the cinema for comfort. He told Vanity Fair, "I would go to the movies, and Daniel Craig was my friend, and Christian Bale was my friend, and Clive Owen was my friend, and Viggo Mortensen was my friend." Austin developed a love of the big screen that later led him to study film in college, and later intern at Lionsgate. In particular, Austin has a deep love for action and sci-fi flicks.
I feel the need for speed.
He lists Top Gun, GoldenEye, and The Empire Strikes Back among his favorite films. In particular, he frequently references Star Wars on his social media pages. Austin kicked off his college career at the University of Notre Dame. He studied there from 2010 to 2011, briefly transferred to Vanderbilt University, and then returned to Notre Dame, where he graduated in 2015. A film studies student with no intent of being on stage or in front of a camera, Austin found acting almost by accident. He later told People magazine, "I was studying mainly film theory in college, but during one of my classes, a teaching assistant said they were having trouble casting this one role in the play they were putting up. I went and read for it and ended up getting the part, but I had no idea at the time that it was the lead. That play was 6 characters in search of an author, and it made the news in 2014 when Austin's famous sister chose to attend the final performance rather than the MTV Europe Music Awards. He appeared in a staging of Dead Man's Cell Phone the following year, and it was that first play that Austin credits with making him love acting. He said, "That was a crash course, but a good one. I fell in love with the people and the process, and I've been hooked since then." Perhaps the biggest indication that Austin has Taylor's back is the way he has refused to tolerate any of her famous adversaries. The best example of this is how he handled Kanye West, hilariously but very pointedly by the way of Instagram. Austin was seemingly a big fan of the rapper, even after his infamous 2009 onstage incident at the MTV Video Music Awards. After West made a defamatory reference to Taylor in his song Famous, however, Austin posted a video of his spring cleaning, which was just him throwing away his Yeezy shoes in the trash. Austin might not have time for his sister's foes, but he certainly has love for her friends. His very first Instagram post is a series of photos of him hanging out with Taylor, her then boyfriend Calvin Harris, Ed Sheeran, and 2/5 of One Direction. There are plenty of images of Swift spending time with members of Taylor's squad of female friends as well, including model Martha Hunt and actor Blake Lively. Austin counts GoldenEye amongst his favorite films, and by chance, he scored his first professional acting gig alongside 007 himself.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Austin plays Lance in the 2016 film IT, which is about a millionaire whose life turns chaotic when he fires his tech consultant. Speaking about the movie's star and director, Austin wrote on Instagram, "Grew up loving Pierce Brosnan and John Moore's films. I never could have dreamt I would actually get the chance to work with them." Austin left to make the film in Dublin not long after leaving the University of Notre Dame. While his part was by no means a starring role, it was still a big get for a recent college grad, and he has since said that the experience felt like a dream. His sister and her friends were also clearly excited about Austin's first on-screen role. Famous squad members Martha Hunt and Ruby Rose both left encouraging comments on Austin's post, and Taylor posted about it on her socials at the time. She wrote, "My brother just acted in his first movie, and I'm all proud and stuff. Austin has subsequently scored a handful of other acting roles, including a part in the Ben Affleck movie Live by Night and an appearance in 2 episodes of the series Embeds." Austin has appeared in projects led by some Hollywood heavy hitters, but he has not yet broken out as a big name himself. Since he lives a fairly private life, it's unclear whether Austin is still interested in acting or if he is actively auditioning. His last role was in 2019, and he doesn't appear to have any others on the horizon. It's also unclear what's happening with his interest in producing, but for a while, it appeared like that might have been his calling. He has 4 projects under his belt as a producer, with the first being the 2020 film We Summon the Darkness. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift has given Austin opportunities to shine through in his involvement with her projects. He was brought on as an executive producer for 2020's documentary Folklore, The Long Pond Studio Sessions, and he produced the video for I Bet You Think About Me, Taylor's version, the following year. This video, which was directed by Blake Lively, earned some major acclaim too. Austin posted on Instagram, "I was so lucky to get to work with Blake, Taylor, and the entire amazing team behind the video for I Bet You Think About Me. And now I am so proud and thankful that we've been nominated for the ACM Award for Video of the Year." Not everyone enjoys the kind of relationship with their older sibling where they can look to them for inspiration and rely on them for advice. Those who do are extremely lucky, and it truly seems like Austin Swift knows that. He has made it quite clear how much he has learned from his older sister over the years, even when he is simply observing her. He told Vanity Fair, "Something I learned myself and learned through watching her is respect. You just respect everyone's time, everyone that you're working with. They're all there. It's all their lives, and you need to put the work in to be worth that." Austin has also spoken about finding motivation by watching his sister take her dreams by the horns. He seems to get a good deal of advice from the star too. In 2018, he told Entertainment Tonight,
"She says I can do things that I can actually, that, in the sense that, a lot of times I'm more reserved and cautious, and she's like, you can do it, you can handle it."
A stamp of approval from your partner's family is a must for many people looking to move a relationship forward, and it seems that being famous doesn't change that. Luckily, Austin has often found it easy to make close friends with Taylor's partners. He was once seen building snowmen with Taylor and Calvin Harris, and at one point followed Joe Alwyn on Instagram, but it's Taylor's relationship with Travis Kelce that marks the first time the public has seen how the younger Swift sibling supports his sister's relationships. A known football fan, it probably hasn't been hard for Austin to make it out to watch Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs play. More than that, though, he genuinely seems to have fostered a bond with Kelce. While it isn't a necessity for family members to get along with one another's romantic partners, it certainly helps make interactions more pleasant and less awkward. The heartwarming story Kelce told about his Christmas gift from Austin indicated that it should be smooth sailing should they ever become brothers-in-law. Austin wowed Kelce when he attended a Christmas Day Chiefs game dressed like Santa, and later gifted him a special present.
His gift to me was straight out of the bag.
Like the Santa sack?
Like
it was in the Santa sack?
In the Santa sack.
And that present, none other than a VHS copy of Kelce's favorite movie, Little Giants. The list of famous Swifties is long, and many of Taylor's fans have gushed about seeing Taylor Swift perform, from Jeff Goldblum to Jessica Chastain to Sarah Paulson. The list of people who have praised Swift also includes techies such as Mark Zuckerberg, athletes like JJ Watt, and a whole host of musicians. If it seems like Swifties are everywhere, it's because they are. Even the singer's family is filled with fans. Indeed, Austin Swift also has no problem letting the world know that he's a full-blown Taylor Swift fan. Austin's comments on Taylor's music make it clear he thinks she is a genius. Take his 2020 Instagram post about Evermore, for example, in which he called himself a lifelong fan and fawned over Taylor's level of artistry and depth of insight. 2 years before that, Austin expressed love for the song New Year's Day, his favorite track from the album Reputation. He told people at the time, "I love how that song, like so many of hers, captures something very honest about the quiet but meaningful moments in a relationship. A number of times I've gotten to hear Taylor's songs at the stage where they're just her and a piano. Those are some of the best memories I have.